Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Tuesday.
Teacher in Quebec got busted. Yeah, this month, news articles were going up everywhere up in Canada about this teacher in Quebec posting the artwork that the kids had made in classroom online for sale. Like spread across 4 different sites, apparently. Going for the tune of like 151 Canadian dollars each. A bit of a range, too. Depends on if you want it on a t-shirt, an iPhone case, or a mug. You know, like this is a whole merch shop that's been going on here. Okay. But is he throwing an epic pizza party for the kids, though? Or is it paying for school supplies just to stock the classroom because the school boards didn't? You don't know. You don't know if there were noble pursuits. No. He's stealing from kids and hawking the stolen images online like an AI art bot with a merch store as well. And you know, parents are right to be upset. Those drawings are theirs to pretend to love as they rotate the old ones from the fridge to the trash bin as the new ones come home from school. Starting off with Gene Simmons of Kiss, who actually showed up with Nick Simmons, his son, on a podcast, the Your Mom's House with Christina P. and Tom Segura podcast specifically, talking about the one and only time that he ever had an encounter with cannabis brownies, and saying that he was so far removed from the culture that he did not know that this was a possibility being put into baked goods. He was at a party. They were breaking a record, he said, in Detroit, and he managed to follow around a woman giving out the brownies for about 6 of them until suddenly things started happening. The room got bigger. His head shrank to the size of an olive. And beyond that, he just kept needing to be brought to his limo and put into bed. Brian Eno in the news because he's released the soundtrack for the upcoming documentary. The prolific songmaker and producer has just simply got a documentary called Eno coming out, and the soundtrack is going to actually arrive April. Documentary film releasing across North America, but throughout spring into summer. About June 7th is when it should be out. We've also got sad news to end off on. The drummer for Helix, Greg Fritz Hines, has passed away. He was the original Helix drummer. 10 months of fighting cancer, and unfortunately was not able to continue the fight beyond that.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
We've had dinosaurs for 200 years as of today, which is I admit, kind of a confusing sentence. What's really meant by that is that we collectively had no real agreed understanding of what the heck all the fossils around the world actually were until 200 years ago today, when there was an official moment that happened. There was a paper that was published that was presented, including some descriptions of the Megalosaurus species as we know it today, a Jurassic pal from about 168 million years ago. But it was the moment that the conversation got completely reframed and we understood that there were these giant monsters that were classified and that could be studied and that the skeletons of which could be put back together. And it wasn't actually until years later that we actually had the term dinosaur coined. But still, 200 years of dinosaurs today, which is kind of a weird thing to celebrate, kind of odd on the calendar. But hey, let me frame it to you this way, all right? No Buckland paper in 1824, and of course, with all the help from the many other scholars and the ancestral understandings that contributed to it, no Buckland paper, no Jurassic Park. All right? So we need to celebrate. Such an honor to have been asked to be a judge for the Chopped Year 2 event, the fundraiser for the Wood Buffalo Food Bank, where 4 teams of 2 in town went head-to-head and were raising money and pledges and things, and over $14,000 was raised for the Wood Buffalo Food Bank already through this. No, you didn't get to see it live like the very first year as it happened, but it was all on camera. Many cameras, and it's going to be put out in episode form in the near future. It's going to be very, very entertaining. We had 4 teams head-to-head. 2 representing firefighters. We had the Fort McMurray Fire Department as well as the Suncor firefighters, and then there was the 2 Spice teams. There was the Spice Queens and the Spice Sisters. Don't get them confused. Don't call them the Spice Girls. Well, you can, but not if you're trying to differentiate between the 2 different teams. All putting up culinary creations for the judges, myself included, doing that for charity, like eating delicious food for hours for charity. Not a bad thing to do, but also, of course, all in the name of helping out those who are facing food food scarcity. That is the most important thing, helping to fill the shelves at the Wood Buffalo Food Bank Association so that they can help pass that on and help fill the shelves for people who are facing that scarcity at home and in our community. So if you want to help out further, there's many ways to help out with the food bank. We love to shout them out and give them some love. Volunteer some hours if you're able. You can donate cash, of course, and then you can also just donate as you're doing your grocery shopping anyway. Get a little extra, throw it in the bin. Easy as that. And they've always got new needs lists so that you can stay up to date of exactly what they're looking for at their website, on their social media, all of it. And keep an eye out for Chopped Year 2 coming soon.
Wednesday.
My partner last night was marveling. There's the usual routine of the, a couple TikToks, couple Instagrams kind of thing, couple of, oh, did you hear about this stories? Which, sometimes can keep a person awake. Sometimes it's useful when you have stuff to talk about in the morning. But she was marveling at new makeup robots that can apply fake eyelashes specifically. Because, that's what you want from a mechanized unit. Sharp objects meant to go near your eyeballs. Yeah, that's, not a recipe for disaster at all. Actually, no, it is, but I'm not upset about it because, hey, got to come up with new ideas for new Final Destination movies at some point, somehow. So they're just giving them something to write about. Can't help but feel a little bit anxious, I guess, about the upcoming warm months, which isn't the usual sensation. Coming into the end of February, usually it's like, get me out of this winter. I need to get into the summer months immediately. But we started the wildfire season in Alberta early because of a need for having the crews available and as well the ability to make sure that permits are needed and required and that bans can go into place whenever needed and in areas that are needed. But usually it's March 1st. And I know that's only a week difference, really, but it does seem to impact. So if you're feeling anxious because of it, I am too. I was just talking to my significant other about how I'm anticipating yet another kind of smoky summer, whether that be coming from anywhere nearby, hopefully not, but more often than not, we get it from quite distant areas. We were having a lot of smoke coming in from Saskatchewan and from BC last year in different times and at different, trajectories and wind directions and everything. There's so many variables that go into it. But I know that there's also some concern about jobs and people staying in positions that have skilled experience and things like that in order to make sure that people are feeling safe, protected, and all that. We will be protected. It will get taken care of, but we also have to do our part and be smart about it as things do get a little bit more dry. So make sure that you're being smart about any time that you're out there making a fire happen. The ignition on the ATVs is a very real thing. Check the hotspots. Do what you need to do.
Hey, Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
We learned yesterday just how big this project is for these Beatle biopics that Sam Mendes is going to direct. Coming out in 2027, expect 4 different biopics, each focused on a member of the band. You're going to have your Paul, you're going to have your Ringo, you're going to have your John, you're going to have your George. And I guess they'll all kind of intersect as they're being produced at the same time. More details to come, but holy cow, it's going to be a whole lot of Beatles. Big congratulations to Beyonce, as she has now become the first black woman ever to hit #1 on the U.S. country charts with her new single, Texas Hold'em, a feat that many are up in arms about for some reason, claiming that she doesn't belong in the space when country music in its complete origins truly did come from black people. And she's shaking things up in an industry that, in a genre that, as I heard last night while waiting for my takeout food, like 6 or 7 songs, they were awful. That whole genre needs a shake-up. And an artist we don't hear too much on the air, Machine Gun Kelly, with a new single on the way, has shared that he's got a brand new, high-profile blackout tattoo, which he says he got for spiritual purposes. Just so edgy. In fact, I saw the best burn on Machine Gun Kelly, and I need to share it. That guy is like a pizza cutter. All edge and 0 point. We've been teaming up with Chocolates and Candlelight for a little special something, of course. And on the phone line right now, caller number 3. That's you, sir.
Sweet.
Yes, and who's this? Who do we have on the line?
It's Justin.
So, Justin, we got it all set up here for you. A $75 gift basket from Chocolates and Candlelight with all kinds of goodies already packed in there, and a $25 gift certificate so that you can get a little something extra that you know you're going to love. Sound good?
Sweet, thank you.
Are you going to be sharing that with somebody to spread the romance around a little bit?
I'm probably going to keep it all to myself.
Hey, self-love is love, too.
It is.
It is, and we're given another opportunity for it on Wednesday of next week, the final hump day of February.
Thursday.
Learning the details about how there's this new website, but not really new. New camping reservation website for Alberta, but not new because it's actually been used for a few years now for a bunch of different types of booking, like facility bookings, day use stuff, since 2021, but not the campsite reservations. But now, as of this year, they've moved over to join up at shopalbertaparks.ca. So you don't use the reservations.albertapark. You'll figure it out. Meaning, you need to start a new account if you have not yet. Yet another chance to enter in a password you're not easily going to remember. But backcountry camping started up a day or two ago with the bookings. And today is the day for comfort camping, then individual campsites on the 26th, then group camping February 28th. So it's rolling out all through this week. Reservation fees are going to stay the same, which is nice to hear, by the way, because, it's a piece of mercy in an inflation-ruled world. Slayer is coming back again. They're going to be reuniting for the Louder Than Life Festival, music festival. They're going to headline it for the 10th year alongside Motley Crue, Slipknot, Korn. Is going to be a big deal. Down in Louisville, Kentucky in September this year, and single-day tickets and all that stuff all on sale for those who are lucky enough to be able to get into it. A ton of other bands are going to be showing up as well. But Slayer reunion is probably the biggest news of the bunch. Gwen Stefani of No Doubt has revealed, though they are going to be reuniting for their own headlining festival appearance at Coachella this year, that they might not be sharing some material from their original works. Mainly just because Gwen Stefani's saying that she can't listen to some of her older material, and there's a specific single that almost makes her throw up in her mouth. And that would be Ex-Girlfriend, specifically, which isn't one of their most popular ones. I think we're okay on that front. Meanwhile, Mark Ronson, who is, with Foreigner by family in a stepson, stepdad kind of situation, not by blood, but they are related. Mark Ronson decided to get Dave Grohl, Slash, and a whole bunch of other people together for a video to basically demand the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame let them in.
Thanks for listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
I am on the hunt for gourmet donuts again in town. Now, I know, there's always Tim's, for sure. Not a bad option, honestly. Do enjoy. And the grocery stores that have the fresh-baked stuff always have a decent offering. It depends on the time of the day, of course, when they were baked, how fresh, but decent for sure. Occasionally, you get some showing up special at Mitchell's, and you cannot mention gourmet donuts around here without talking about Ginger's Bannock donuts. All right, good Lord, those things are good. But for a full array of all kinds of different styles of gourmet donuts, we don't really have that hookup anymore. That I'm aware of. Where can I find them? And can I also just get some of those Bannock donuts while I'm there? You know what I mean? Double that up. That would be amazing. The ultimate craving payoff. Let me know. Where are your favorite donuts in town? Where do you go to scratch that itch?
Baby.
I can already tell this is going to be a lot of fun. Got a few of the oil barons joining me in studio. How you guys doing? We've got Zayden, we've got Noah, we've got Nick.
How are you doing today? We're doing good.
Great. Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. So the reason you guys are here, it's a big week because it's the big push, final chance to get those tickets for the Oil Barons Dream Home Lottery, which in turn supports the team in so many different ways. How does it help? I mean, I'm sure that's the biggest question people have.
Yeah, I mean, it just really supports our team. The fans are really who make it possible for us to play hockey up here. So the Dream Home's one of the big things that brings in a lot of money for the team and lets us do what we love, so we really appreciate it.
Training, travel, all of it, right?
Oh yeah, everything. it's such a big fundraiser, such a big draw, and we get a lot of money from it, and I feel like the buzz that it creates in the community also helps. Like, it gets people to games, it gets people to get excited about something. So just having energy around your organization in general is a positive thing. So it's really good.
It's so cool through the season to have like the draw nights happen at the games and everything, and see the cheers, the excitement actually felt. And the big draw is going to be happening soon. The cutoff for the Oil Barons Dream Home tickets is this Saturday, like a minute before midnight at oilbaronsdreamhome.ca. I was also reading that the 50-50 winner takes half. It's up over 300,000 now. That's a huge chunk of change. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
that is a huge amount of money, and yeah.
That'd be nice. Hey, what'd you do? What would you do with 300,000, Zayden?
Oh, boy.
Well,
I don't even
half's
know.
going to the CRA.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my BC talk, though. I don't know about Alberta, but what would you do with $300,000 right now?
Well, that's the total. So half. Winner takes half of that.
Yeah. What would you take with $150,000?
Buy a new truck, I think. That's about it.
It's a very
Shiny new baby.
Shiny new truck.
That's a Saskatchewan answer right there, and I'm all here for it. That's a prairie boy right there.
Alberta's going to be thrilled with that too, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you right now. Got to get those tickets separate. So the 50-50 cash draw is separate from the actual tickets for the Dream Home itself. But I mean, $1 million home. It is gorgeous this year. I know you guys have taken a look inside because I saw you guys at the opening day when I was there. What's something you love about the Dream Home this year?
It's a fully furnished home. I think it's a gorgeous one. I mean, it caught me off guard when I saw it. I didn't expect it to be so gorgeous. I think it's got a big basement. It's got a nice air hockey table. There's everything you would want when you think of a dream home.
Yeah, it's all there under one roof. It's really, really cool. And I think a step up from maybe the previous year as well. I mean, it's accounting for taste, right? Everybody's going to have a little bit of a different take, but I love it this year. So take a look. If you want the address, you want to find out where to go, everything's at oilbaronsdreamhome.ca. What else do you guys want to say to the people who haven't bought their tickets yet?
I mean, I'm just going to say, like, in a community, the newest neighborhood being built is always the best neighborhood because it's fresh, it's new, it's clean, it's fun, right? This dream home was built on a brand new lot in a brand new neighborhood on a new side of town, and it's only going to expand and get bigger. So you young families with little kids who want a home in a nice neighborhood, going to a good school, you want your kids to come home to something great, that dream home is something great.
Nick's the salesman over here. Holy cow, selling it.
And, I'm just helping everyone out.
Okay, again, oilbaronsdreamhome.ca. Can't stress it enough. You got to get your tickets. If you're planning on it, if you're thinking about it, if you're even on the fence, the cutoff is 11:59 p.m. this Saturday. Doors are open all this week, 12 to 5. So go take a look if you're unsure. Take the tour online if you can't make it. Get some tickets. Or, spread the word if you can't, right? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Friday.
We're not animals. We're refined. We go to the office and get our work done. Or, wherever the work site is. But there are some giant offices in the world that are trying something a little bit interesting, a little sneaky maybe, perhaps, to lure people back to the office. I mean, many are just simply creating back to work in the office policy, and that's been happening over the last year plus. A lot of reaction to the, sort of post tail end pandemic stuff that's going on. But there's some companies that have actually developed signature scents where they've selected every note of the bouquet of aromas to give people a sense of belonging in the place that they work. Interesting. So essentially, they're trying to lure people back to work with smells. Listen, the stink isn't why most people think work stinks. All right, there's got to be something else to it. The smell isn't going to be the tipping point, but it is nice to have a pleasant smelling place to do what you need to do. I'm not really against that. I just feel like, don't know if that's exactly addressing the situation, That's like just the pizza party of policymaking right there. Foreigner in the news for a couple of reasons. One, chiefly because they have been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and may just be part of the class of 2024. In fact, a big push for voting came from the stepson of the only original member of Journey, a Foreigner who is still a part of the band, talking about Mick Jones. Mark Ronson put out a big bid for a bunch of people who are able to vote on this to give them their due. They've been eligible for a nomination since 2002, but only have just gotten it for this year. Now, the latest news is that Mick Jones made a big post through the Foreigner social media to say that he has been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he's been dealing with symptoms for years, several years now, and that it is an absolute daily struggle with the neurodegenerative disorder. Tremors, balance problems, mobility issues, stiffness, all of the above are things that he has been having to deal with of late. Let's hope for that nomination to go through and for that to actually be a proper induction. Meanwhile, Kings of Leon, they have put out some new music, announced a brand new album that's called Can We Please Have Fun. Brand new single was just released yesterday called Mustang. And of course, they're going to do a world tour to support the Follow-Wills. Will be close to home as part of their tour. September 2nd, they'll be in Edmonton with support from Fantogram opening up for them. That should be a pretty good show. And new Linkin Park has made its way to the internet as well for streaming, as well as a new singles collection just announced by the band featuring unreleased Chester Bennington vocals on Friendly Fire and other tracks, including some new unreleased live footage. Keep your eyes out.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
87 push-ups a day. Came to that number because if you do 87 push-ups a day times 23, you end up with just over 2,000. It's 2,001 push-ups. And I was born in 1987. February's my birth month. It just all kind of made sense to me to jump in and help out because money raised is helping out with the Canadian Mental Health Association, specifically the Wood Buffalo chapter. Just fresh from the latest set of 20 because I'm up from doing the 15 sets at the beginning of this thing. There's some progress, some tangible progress, but the official count now, 1974. Not just a year of some great music, but also the number of push-ups completed. That leaves, and if you are counting back at home, only 26 to go. 27 technically. We'll do this thing. We'll complete this challenge. Over $1,000 has been raised on my pledge page for the local Canadian Mental Health Association, which is fantastic. $1,070. Anything extra is gravy, but I'm still looking for those donations. Find the link up on our social media on the website, cruzradio.com. Despite the flagship show being long since wrapped up and concluded to, mixed reviews, it seems that the Game of Thrones will never be over. The mixed quality House of the Dragon is still getting a second season this summer. But even more has been conjured. There's a big announcement of the new prequel called A Night of Seven Kingdoms that's been greenlit and apparently is set to arrive in 2025 at some point. And the already talked about, but not really officially started yet, Aegon the Conqueror spinoff is still apparently greenlit for some mysterious time in the future. As for the actual book series that this is based on, just keep waiting. Just keep waiting for the ending. Just keep waiting. Also, you should probably know, it might never arrive. But just keep waiting.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.